Blue Jackets hockey on Fox Sports Ohio, brought to you by First Financial Bank. Another step on the path to success. By IGS Energy. Take control of your natural gas and energy costs and enroll today at IGSenergy.com. And by Nationwide. We put members first because we don't have shareholders. To find a local agent, visit Nationwide.com. Join the nation. It's a hockey night in Central Ohio and here at Nationwide Arena. First meeting between the Bruins and the Blue Jackets. Jackets back-to-back games. They will travel immediately after this one and take on the Flyers in Philadelphia of Craig Berube tomorrow. Sergei Bobrovsky back between the pipes. You see his record. Bobrovsky looking to backstop the Jackets to a victory here over the Boston Bruins and 200 feet away. Never drafted in the NHL, but his first full season in the National Hockey League. Nicholas Svedberg, his 9th career start. As you look at his season starts, he had one game a season ago with Boston. Brad Meyer, Brian Pochmera are the referees. Jay Scherers, Derek Danson, the linesman. Bruins wearing their traveling whites, the Jackets in their home blues. Bergeron will take the opening draw, one of the premier face-off men in the NHL, better than 60%. He comes in tonight, number 2, and he wins the opening face-off, and we're underway as Miller hammers it in. Up along the near boards. The puck comes free. Hustling to it, there is Leopold, who looks up the left wing for Hartnell. Swept back to neutral ice. This is Seidenberg. A long shot sails wide of Bobrovsky in the Jackets' net. Leopold looking for Savard. Picked up by Atkinson in the corner. Quickly feeds for Anisimov. Wires crossed, and it will be Savard on the backhand. Looking for Hartnell. Jackets looking, Jody, to get out of their own zone here right now.
Yeah, I don't mind the start, though. He started Savard out there with Leopold against Bergeron. I like the start for the Blue Jackets.
Boone Jenner out there with Ryan Johansson as advertised. Nick Foligno flanking them on the left wing. And as we mentioned in the open, they have had success playing together. And as Jody Shelley rightfully points out, Boone Jenner can draw them into the game, and certainly the effort here to get Ryan Johansson going, Jody.
Well, that's the thing. And, you know, the line before of Hartnell with Jenner and Atkinson was really playing well. And it's got to be tough to break up, but not after a 5-0 loss.
Shot by Connaughton, jersey number 4. He is the 9th, count him, the 9th player to make his season debut with the Blue Jackets. Svedberg making a stop there. He did not pick up a win in his last start. And right now, the Jackets trying to get something going in the offensive zone, approaching the 2-minute mark. Jack Skilling deals it back to Jack Johnson. On here for Dalton Prout. Svedberg fights that one off. The Bruins look up the left wing. Lucic will drop it back. And playing his second NHL game, jersey number 76 in place of Krejci is Koplichev. Second ever NHL game, first of the season.
And that was a late scratch, Jeff. Krejci played last game for the Boston Bruins when they beat St. Louis at home in a shutout. But he's not in tonight.
He has been in and out of their lineup all season long, and the Bruins looking for some consistency. And their top line, of course, they're also looking for a right winger to play with both Lucic and Krejci. Over the last 2 seasons, they've had Nathan Horton there, of course, signing a free agent contract with the Jackets. And last season, Jerome McGinley, who scored 30 goals but signed a 3-year contract with Colorado. Shot by Savard. That one is blocked. Up the left wing, Campbell gets it ahead. Jackets break it up. Walk into the zone. There is Anisimov. Knocked away by Smith, and it's out to center.
Anisimov was looking for a little more room to set up to get the puck on his forehand in the middle of the ice and let it go towards the net. He just couldn't find it and got checked.
Bruins look to the left wing boards. Backhanded ahead by Fraser, but the Jackets are right there denying entry. And it's swept back in. And icing is the call, enabling us to check out tonight's Toyota Keys, presented by your Central Ohio Toyota dealer.
Well, you're playing the Boston Bruins, and I like the attitude of hit first. Don't wait to get hit. Go out there and take it to these guys. Forecheck. That guy right there, Todd Richards, always compliments his team after a win, and he always goes to the forecheck and said, we were on the forecheck all night. Got to get back to that mentality. And of course, we said it for the last couple of weeks here, discipline. Don't take penalties, but discipline to the system, too, for these Columbus Blue Jackets.
At the point, dealt to Hamilton, shot deflected wide. Jenner finishes the check. There's an easy mob along the boards. And it's back into Boston territory. Jackets immediately change things up. They get the last line changed, but had a quick change here after the icing call. And out comes the Johansson line. 3.5 minutes plus gone here in this opening period. Ryan Johansson had it knocked away by Kelly. Erickson for Kelly. Swept behind the Jackets net, and it's Connaughton. Up the left wing boards. Jenner looks rink wide. Foligno coming with speed. Pulls up. Spins, turns, gets away from the forecheck there of Soderberg. Shot by Prout off the pad. A big rebound there. And so far, Svedberg is letting those big rebounds go in front. And he's looking to capitalize.
He's made a couple key saves, and his first one, I don't think he even saw it, Jeff. But he's definitely into this game and involved. And you talk about the rebounds. I don't know. I think he's just got his footing right now and stopping everything he sees.
Miller up high, swept behind the net. There's Jack Johnson. Jackets, right side. Skilly gets it ahead here from Matt Calvert, trying to walk around Lucic, who makes the defensive play. Calvert now tied up along the wall, gets some help there. Skilly able to fish that puck free. Looking for Wenberg, up high Jack Johnson on to Dalton Prout. He'll let one go, and it's redirected by Skilly, but wide of the net. Jackets throw it back. It gets away from Jack Johnson. He'll flip a backhand here to Dalton Prout.
Jack Skilly had a good opportunity there on his forehand. The puck just kind of fooled him. It might have bounced down there, Jeff. Tough to see from up here, but nice little play there by Matty Calvert.
Jackets have 3 of the first 4 shots in the hockey game. Gotta like their start. Dump the link to the ice there by Seidenberg, and play called on the icing.
Let's take a look at this last opportunity by the Columbus Blue Jackets. You're going to see this little fake package. It's Dalton Prout with the fake shot. Jack Skilly just wasn't ready for it. Beautiful little pass cross seam here, and you see how Jack Skilly, his feet are just a little too far ahead. He tried to reach back, get the puck, and sweep it towards the net. But I like the sign. That's a good opportunity for Jack, who's back in the lineup after missing a few games due to injury.
How about Claude Julien, the longtime coach here of the Bruins? He led them to a Stanley Cup 3 seasons ago. Tomorrow night, he will coach his 800th National Hockey League game. And ironically enough, it'll come against one of his former teams, the Montreal Canadiens.
Oh, big game for the Boston Bruins at home. He'll be excited about that.
They call it one of the oldest and certainly biggest rivalries in all the NHL.
He just signed a contract extension.
Yes, he did.
In October.
Another 3 seasons for Julien.
He's been a fixture in Boston now for quite some time. Stanley Cup winning coach there with, of course, that was a big deal. And he's done a really good job with this team. Seems like such a great guy when you talk to him one-on-one.
Oh, certainly one of the popular coaches in the NHL. And, of course, he was part of Canada's Olympic coaching staff under Mike Babcock.
That's right.
5 minutes plus gone. Puck picked off there on the turnover. Jackets send it up, but not out. Walking in, the stop. Oh, Dalton Prout with maybe the play of these early minutes. That puck got by Bobrovsky, but was swept out of the blue paint just as it was set to cross the line. Dalton Prout continues his improved play.
Well, that was a nice play by Dalton Prout. A little tough turnover in the middle of the ice right before that, but you like to see that. And I'm sure a defenseman likes to see that puck just trickling just slow enough that he can get his stick behind it and clear it.
Dalton Prout over the last half dozen games, I think, has really stepped up, Jody.
Well, he's had an opportunity, and I agree with you. In the beginning, he wasn't getting a full opportunity, wasn't getting time to settle in and just play hockey and relax. But now he's getting that opportunity to get out there, and if a mistake happens, he knows he's going to get another shift, and that really settles a player down.
Savard dances in, fires his shot. Svedberg looking for the rebound, and it sailed off to the far side. Tell you what, he does not look comfortable to me in that net. The Jackets have got to continue to pepper shots at the Boston goaltender. Dumped wide of the net. Pressure coming. That's Gagne. Jackets quickly attempting to move it out, but can't. Paille dumps it back behind Bobrovsky. Matt Calvert takes a hit there from Gagne. Signed as a free agent just after the start of the season. Left wing pass for Calvert. Played deep in the zone, and he rifles it wide of the net. Wisniewski steps up. Paired with Connaughton. Eriksson and Corey Trott. The scratches tonight. Been a while since we can say the Jackets have healthy scratches. Skilly looking there for Matt Calvert. Gregory Campbell dishes to Paille, and Paille will edge it in as he crosses the red center line.
And here come the Jackets. They change. Here's Cracknell here with Bull and Gibbons. This is a line now with Chaput gone, and Corey Trott a healthy scratch, as you mentioned. Jared Bull has got to carry the weight physically on this line. Well, Gibbons boy brings that speed.
Todd Richards said this morning he needs all four lines going. They've got to bring the energy, and he's not just talking about the fourth line. He's looking for a complete team effort here.
Well, when you play the Boston Bruins, they've always been a four-line team. They had Sean Thornton there last year. He's now down in Florida. So Claude Julien's a coach that likes to play all four lines all night long. So that's a big duty and an accepted duty by these guys.
Koklachev with a nice pass there in front off Griffith, and they don't get a shot away. Hamilton lets one fly. That one is blocked in front. Picked up there by Jared Bull. At center, Gibbons will dump in. Hamilton to play it. Hamilton paired with Morrow. 11.5 minutes left. Puck dumped in. Played by Bobrovsky. Gets away. Miller on for Seidenberg. Dump back into Jackets territory right now. Boston contempt. A dump and chase. They steal the puck down low. Get it up high here to Seidenberg. Cross ice. Long shot. Bobrovsky is there. Scott Hartnell up the left wing boards and out.
He just happened to get it out of the zone. Him and Artem Anisimov have got to get off the ice. Good play by Scott Hartnell to get it to neutral ice.
Bergeron back hands one wide of the net. Good move by Savard on to Boone Jenner. Off the skate of Bergeron and dumped right back in by Boston.
Pretty good action here, Jeff. We've had one whistle so far.
Long left wing pass, and play is called. And before we go to break, let's get a look one more time at a game-saving stop here after a turnover.
We are going to play Nationwide.
And there's that play by Dalton Prout. Look at that. That puck got through Sergei. He didn't know where it was. Squeezes through. Dalton on the backhand. Clears it out. Big play. That got the building buzzing, Jeff.
Look at that puck and watch Prout come in. To the midway point of this opening period. No score. Boston. Their first matchup here with the Blue Jackets. Soderberg taking the face-off against Johansson across the line. Jenner attempted to play it. Seidenberg sends it cross ice. Miller looks to the left wing for Eriksson. Eriksson drops it to the trailer. The shot there by Soderberg, and it went off Johansson and wide. Picked up behind the net by Eriksson. Tried to throw it in front. Defensive play there by Foligno. Miller with a shot. It's blocked, and Johansson's got a break. Johansson moving in. Shoots. Denied. Scores. It trickles off the goal stick of Svedberg and into the net. The Jackets get the first goal.
Love that effort by Ryan Johansson. Blocks the shot right in front of his bench and then gets up the ice. And let's look at this wide. Here comes the shot. It's a one-time shot. Ryan Johansson gets it and gets the feet moving. Looks back, sees Boone Jenner, but takes it right to the net as it squeaks through on that shot. Look at this. He knows. He's committed to the shot the whole way. Right past Svedberg. Oh, he got a piece of it, but that good job by Ryan Johansson.
We've reached the midway point 9:52, the time of the goal. Unassisted for Ryan Johansson, his 7th of the season, and his team-leading 21st point.
Love to see that block shot. I mean, that's not easy to do, and Ryan Johansson is a guy that, you know, he's got to take care of those details, and there he does, and not only blocks the shot, but gets rewarded with a break and a goal.
9:52.
That's got to feel good for him.
Got to feel good for the team getting that first goal.
Absolutely. You know, you want to see a guy like that keep going, have fun, have success.
Well, you talked a few minutes earlier about Todd Richards trying to get him going and moving Boone Jenner to drag him into the fight.
Well, that was all Ryan Johansson.
But knowing that, and I'll tell you, talking to Johansson this morning, knowing that he was going to play with Boone Jenner, who he's had success with in the past, Jody, is a plus.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you want him to be happy and confident coming into the game. There's no question.
Well, he was pretty excited as he got to the rink here this morning after practicing with Jenner yesterday, and knowing full well that he's reunited with a player that he had played with previously last season. Jackets with the edge in shots at 5-3. They lead 1-0. David Savard for Leopold. Up on that left wing, Hartnell. Cross ice for Savard. Quick feed. Atkinson with a shot. And Svedberg makes that stop.
That was a good quick shot by Cam Atkinson. Right-handed shot down the right wing.
Lucic. Shot blocked off the backboard. Right to an alert Bobrovsky. As we go to break, Ryan Johansson on a breakaway after the turnover, and the puck goes across the line for the 1-0 lead. Nationwide, our Elk and Elk injury report. And for the first time this season, we're looking at a hockey team, Jody, that has almost as many players out of their lineup and key players as the Blue Jackets.
Almost. It's good to see that the right-hand side, the Blue Jacket side, is shrinking. But yeah, they have some key players. Krejci, Chara, Marchand. Names that everyone's familiar with for sure. McQuaid.
David Savard steps to the line. Savard sends it out of play, which will give us an opportunity to remind you, as you enjoy a cold one here tonight, look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's contest. That's brought to you by Miller Lite.
There's Kevin Connaughton. He was picked up on waivers the other day, and he has to be excited to get in and be able to get in the lineup. You know, he's in for Timmy Erickson, who I think has been playing well, but he falls to the effort the other night from the team. Timmy finds himself out, and Connaughton, who's from Edmonton, Alberta, is excited to have an opportunity here tonight with James Wisniewski.
Leopold lets one fly, scores! Off the glove and in! It's 2-0. Well, if Leopold gets credit for that one, that will be his first as a Blue Jacket.
Watch this here. It starts on the board. Goalie Svedberg, a little backhand pass, and the Jackets are all over it. Nick Foligno does the dirty work in front. He might get credit for that, but look at that 38 in there. Boone Jenner with a one-handed pass, and then Nick Foligno wastes no time. It got caught up in his jersey. I think Foligno will get credit for that goal.
You're right.
Great job by that guy, Leopold.
Right off his back.
Right off the back. Goal scorers talk about scoring off their backside.
Team leading 10th of the year. What was that you were telling Wenberg this morning? That he's still looking for his first goal.
Yeah, I said maybe it'll go off your head, your back. Who knows? You'll get it.
Well, maybe he learned something watching Foligno there.
Yeah. Go to the net.
Team leading 10th goal of the season. On the point shot from Leopold.
The Columbus goal is his 10th goal of the season, scored by number 7.
Foligno indeed getting credit for it. Leopold will pick up the primary assist. His first point as a Blue Jacket. And Johansson picks up an assist, his second point. In front, Kelly, and Connaughton was able to sweep it off his stick.
And then James Wisniewski at the side of the net looked like he got that glove involved again. We saw that a couple games ago.
Here, moved by Soderberg to the far boards. Jackets pressure, but it's kept in at the right point. Erickson. Paille. Camped in front with Campbell. And at the side of the net, Bobrovsky alertly will hold on. Foligno from Leopold and Johansson. 95th career goal for Nick Foligno.
And we've seen 2 goals tonight, and it's been dirty work. Blocking a shot by Ryan Johansson, and then Nick Foligno recognizing the puck, going to the point, and immediately going to the dirty area right in front of the Boston Bruins goalie, taking away his vision. He ends up with the goal by doing that because it goes off his backside.
Puck fired around. Puck at center and moved by Bull deep in the zone as he takes a hit from Campbell. Miller chased by Adam Cracknell. Bartkowski able to chop it into Jackets territory. Replaced by Morrow, who's at that left point, jersey number 45. Paille steps up, tried to keep it in. Here's Adam Cracknell. Cracknell first across the line, on here for Gibbons. Gibbons drops it back. Dalton Trout lets one fly. Blocked. Of the view there was Svedberg by Cracknell, but the Jackets unable to get the shot to the net. Gagne put himself offside there. And the Jackets allowed to regroup behind Bobrovsky.
And set up and get a change there for Jared Bull. Brian Gibbons. Get that Hartnell, Atkinson, and Nisimov group out there.
Well, today's broadcast is on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces serving in 175 countries and aboard ships at sea. You're watching around the world in Iraq, Germany, Italy, Southwest Asia, South Korea, and Japan. We welcome you and thank you for what you do.
Thank you for your services.
A little more than 6 minutes left here. Jackets, Hartnell ahead for Atkinson. Speeds down that wing. Atkinson able to chop it into the corner for Hartnell. Around the boards, Savard steps up. Atkinson backing him up. There's Anisimov. Away from Bartkowski. Backhands to Leopold. And a similar shot. This one sails wide, and the one that resulted in the Foligno goal. Now, Anisimov, pad save. Big rebound again, given up by Svedberg. Lucic gets it ahead. Bobrovsky, right side for David Savard. Kept in up high there by Bergeron. Squeezed out along the wall. Savard, Anisimov late in the shift for him. Bruins come aggressively forecheck here. Hamilton stepping in off the point. Jackets finally able to clear. Foligno away from Bergeron. Johansson unable to play it on the turnover. Carried in by Boston. Right wing pass. Bergeron rifles it wide after taking that feed from Smith. Bartkowski able to keep it in. Drop behind the net, and the Jackets will play it. Connaughton. Kevin Connaughton to the line. A great skater, and he possesses a heavy shot, Jody.
Yeah, I heard that. Watched him a little bit yesterday. He was actually on the power play in practice. And his agent is in town, Dean Grillo, and I asked him about it. He said,
oh, nice stop there by Bobrovsky.
Connaughton has played on the power play before, so.
4:43 left. Bobrovsky and the Jackets, a 2-0 lead.
I think Jackets here, Boone Jenner, your line was on the line for both of those goals. How important is it to get off to a quick start?
Yeah, we wanted to. We wanted to come out hard. It's our building. We know they play hard, so we had to come out and establish our game right away.
Talk about the chemistry between you guys playing in this game tonight.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I'm back in the wing. Pretty used to it, playing with Joey quite a bit last year, and Nick also. So we feel comfortable and just want to keep going.
Boone Jenner there at the end of a hard-working shift. Got a few hits already, Jeff. 4 to start the game.
Certainly can't be surprised.
Like to see that against the Boston Bruins.
Here's Skilly coming in off the wing. Big rebound off Svedberg. Right back there to Skilly. Paille battling, and he's able to chip it by Jack Johnson, who's quick to get it, and it's on here for Dalton Prout. A little more than 4 minutes left up that right wing. Calvert got a stick on it, and it's steered aside by Svedberg. Seidenberg unable to play it. Speaking of hits, who's on the ice? Jared Bull, and he's got one on fire.
Jared Bull, yeah, He looks like he's got great speed out there tonight. Trying to keep up with Gibbons.
Oh, that one redirected by Gagne in front. Bobrovsky's lost his goal stick, retrieves it as Gibbons carries up the left wing. Cross ice for Cracknell. Getting a stick on it there was Paille to direct it to the corner. Cracknell quickly on it. Savard unable to make the play. This is Gagne. 4 Bruins across the line. Gagne into the slot. Bobrovsky, that's stopped. Gibbons trying to out-muscle Paille and does. Nice work there by Gibbons. Ryan Gibbons drops a pass. And the Bruins have cleared the center. Racing after it there is Smith. Sweeps it by Connaughton. Foligno backing him up, and it's on to James Wisniewski. A quick feed. Drop there for Foligno. Darts down the right side on to Boone Jenner. Jenner away from Bergeron. Fires a backhand that sails wide. Connaughton will drop it back to Johansson. Johansson's shot in turn blocked by Bergeron. Puck carried by Fraser. Fraser edges it by Wisniewski. Back to defend and finishes a check. Connaughton now unable to play that puck. The Bruins flip it to the left point where Seidenberg will move it quickly here to Bergeron. Top of the circle. It's blocked in front. It may have gone off the shin of a Bruin player at that. Fraser battles along the board. Bergeron is there. Jackets able to play it along the wall and out. Foligno from center will edge it in.
Good job by Nick Foligno to support Connaughton there. Connaughton made a nice play in the defensive zone. Waited for support. Nick Foligno made a smart play and then got the red line and dumped it and got off.
Lucic gets it by Dalton Prout. Those two come together. Jackets Atkinson shovels it ahead. Here comes Hartnell down the right wing to center. Hartnell sends it off the boards. Hustles after it. Bartkowski. Bartkowski defending. Couple of 43s battling there below the goal line. And Isimov able to fish it free. Shot from the point. Sails wide of the net. Approaching the 18-minute mark. And it's Lucic late in the shift. Yields it to the right wing boards. Griffith. Behind that goal line, Koplichev unable to get a stick on it. The Jackets effectively move it back out, and it's Atkinson spinning and turning away from the forecheck of Kelly. Hartnell coming together again with Bartkowski. Gets it to the left wing boards. Shot by Leopold was blocked. Bruins clear the center. Chopped ahead. Boy, this period has been awfully fast.
It's been back-to-back, end-to-end, but it's been fast. And you notice the guys, every line for the Blue Jackets has some good speed on it. And it seems like they're engaged in all the little things. So it's been a quick transitional game for both teams.
The officials letting them play. Very few whistles here in this opening period. Hamilton all over Matt Calvert. Bobrovsky leaves it there for David Savard. Savard head up at the line. Feeding Cracknell. Adam Cracknell fights off the attempted stick check. Looks to the left wing for Foligno. Less than a minute to go. Bergeron all over Foligno. That obviously the matchup the Bruins are looking for. Getting that Bergeron line against the Jackets' high-scoring trio. Drop back well in the final minute. Connaughton deals it off the boards. Looks there for Boone Jenner and out of play. Jody, I want your thoughts here. Claude Julien quoted today in the Boston papers, "We have to approach this as a must-win. When you realize what's coming next, it's not getting any easier with Montreal and Pittsburgh. We've got some tough games coming up. So this is the game for which we have to really buckle down and make sure we come out with the 2 points."
I know, and the coach is stressing that so much, but it's a Boston Bruins, Montreal Canadiens Saturday night matchup tomorrow night. And then they have the Pittsburgh Penguins, and they're playing, you know, a Blue Jackets team that's pretty injured. So there is definitely a let-up. And it's hard as a player. And you hear the coach, they're all saying the right thing, but in reality, it's a tough thing. So advantage Blue Jackets in that department.
Great point. And there, Svedberg will hold on, and a little extracurricular activity after the whistle. And who's in the middle of it? Boone Jenner.
And we talked about this earlier. Jenner's going to annoy people with the way he plays, and he's not going to turn away from pucks. He's not going to take you lightly on the wall. He's going to play a hard game, and that just is going to draw attention. I think that is a compliment to the way he plays.
Oh, absolutely. He gets under the skin of the opposition, and very much a leader on this hockey club. And again, a big reason why Johansson was excited about playing with Jenner again tonight.
Yeah, and Foligno, I think, too. I mean, Foligno's that guy, too, that can agitate, but just by doing those little things all the time.
Centering pass for Atkinson. Scramble in the blue paint. Where is it? Svedberg was down, unable to play it, and this will do it. A very strong first period by the Blue Jackets, but we've said it before, we'll say it again, it's got to be a complete 60-minute effort. They outscore the visiting Bruins 2-0 on goals by Johansson and Foligno. They outshoot the visiting Bruins 11-8. After 20 minutes here at Nationwide, Columbus 2, Boston no score. Columbus Blue Jackets hockey on Fox Sports Ohio, brought to you by Huntington Bank. At Huntington, you can bank like a real fan. Get your Blue Jackets debit card at BlueJacketsBanking.com. And by Ohio Health, the official healthcare provider of your Columbus Blue Jackets. Great to see young children in for this Friday night affair. Our IGS Energy performer through 20 minutes of play, Ryan Johansson. Jody.
100% the face-off circle. 2 block shots. Oh, yeah. Goal and an assist. And how about his shift length? Only 39 seconds. He's had 8 shifts, averaging 39 seconds. I love that. Which means he's not getting caught out there in the defensive zone, not spending too much time. You get out over 45, 50 seconds, there's a lot of gliding. Hard shifts by him. Cracknell's at 37, Anissimov's at 39, and Hartnell 36. Those are the 4 guys below 40. I like that. Attention to detail and get off the ice.
Teams have traded ends. Bergeron and Anisimov set for the draw. Bergeron, again, better than 60% of the face-off circle. Coming into tonight's game, number 2 in the league, and he wins that draw from Anisimov to start period number 2. Fraser battles. Anisimov to play. Saucer's a pass here for Leopold. Off the wall. Hartnell for Anisimov in full flight. Threw it across the line. Dishes on that wing. Nice play by Atkinson to pull it back. Fires the shot off Svedberg and into the corner. Hustling after that puck on the far side is Morrow. Morrow now the clearing pass knocked down by Atkinson again. Redirected by Hartnell, but over top of the net. Anisimov. Jackets quick on those pucks tonight, Joe.
You know what? Every line, like I said, has the speed, and Cam Atkinson is absolutely flying out there. We saw him take a shot from the point. He was covering up for the defenseman.
Left wing. Shot by Smith. Sails wide of the net. And ricochets up high. Kept in by Fraser. Spins turn. Who else but Atkinson able to block it off the pad of Bobrovsky as the puck ricocheted right in on the Jackets netminder, and Hartnell will dump in. You think, you talked about the short shifts. Is that something that perhaps Todd Richards talked to the hockey team about prior to tonight's game?
I think so. It comes in that same sentence as the face-offs. It's the details of the game. In short shifts, coaches always go to that. They want to out-change the other team, first of all, but get out there and work hard as you can for short shifts and get off.
Krug lets one fly. Ricochets off the back of the Bruin player in front, and alertly played by Bobrovsky.
Well, this guy's been back for a couple games, Artem Anisimov, and in the defensive zone, he's a defenseman's best friend. Watch his puck here. He gets in on support, he makes a little pass, and then starts skating, and eventually gets that puck back. That right there is below your own goal line in the defensive zone. Tremendous support, and that's what every coach wants their centerman to be able to do. That's why center position is so hard. It's got to be below the goal line and then get up and support the play as it goes up the ice.
Koklchev playing in place of Krejci tonight. Krejci has been plagued by a bothersome hip, and the talk is he's going to try to get through this season. Actually needs surgery, and he's been in and out of the lineup here.
That's not easy. I've had that hip problem myself, and it's pretty nagging.
Jack Johnson off the left wing boards, knocked down by Calvert, but offside the call.
Matty Calvert back in the lineup. Boy, he just brings that jam, you know, that on the puck, dog on the bone mentality on the puck. And we've seen him back, him and Skilly playing on a line. Great speed, and then he said earlier today, when asked what are you going to bring back to the lineup, hard work and speed. Pretty basic.
Actually, look at the way the lines are set up here tonight, and there's speed on every line, Jody. I
know, and that's it's evident from up here in the press box. You can see it.
Bruins send it to center ice. Leopold backpedals into his own zone. Just past the 2-minute mark of the second period. Jared Bull ridden off on the play. Jackets looking to win a board battle. Pressure here now. In the middle of the ice, Gagne will rip it in. Bobrovsky unable to trap it. Paille sends it in front. Leopold there. A little caretaking for the Jackets away from Campbell. Up high, Bartkowski will rip it wide. Up along the wall, Gibbons. Jackets look to clear. Gibbons battling. Sent back to Leopold. On to David Savard. Drops it for Leopold. Steps to center. Looks to the right wing. Atkinson, it's beyond his reach. And quickly a pass here for Smith. Smith for Bergeron. Bergeron across the line. Bergeron comes out of the corner. Good active stick by Atkinson, and he sends it back out.
Good awareness there. He saw Lucic in the middle of the ice waiting for a pass from Bergeron. But Cam Atkinson used that little bit of speed and that awareness. Got over there and broke up the play.
Shot by Smith, deflected off Leopold, and out of play.
Before the Jackets hit the ice, get ready to join the battle on Blue Jackets Live on Fox Sports Ohio. Blue Jackets Live is brought to you by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers.
Sergei Bobrovsky is in the zone here, Jeff. Made a few nice saves. He's faced 11 shots from the Boston Bruins, and he's looked comfortable in there. You know, he comes back from that finger injury. And I thought last game, you pointed out, he looks really sharp in net.
Seems to be gaining more confidence with that glove hand. And you can notice a difference as he attempts to catch those pucks. Nick Foligno at the line. Drop back. On here for Connaughton. Right wing feed. Racing after it is Boone Jenner, but it's called for icing.
Columbus Blue Jackets hockey is brought to you by Nationwide, the official sponsor of your Columbus Blue Jackets.
There's Boone Jenner. He's arguing with the ref. He was arguing with the linesman about the icing call. He thought he was winning the race, and the ref came over to explain it in a little more detail to Boone. I don't mind that. He's engaged. He's fully engaged in every single play.
From the drop. Backhanded by Seidenberg. Below that goal line. He'll play it up high here now. Looks to the opposite side. Jackets Foligno on to Boone Jenner. Jenner races into the zone. Feeds Johansson. Tries to settle that puck down. Leaning was Svedberg, but it just trickled wide of the net. Now Svedberg will hang on.
They didn't miss that by much. Let's take a look at it. Jenner picks up the puck here in support. And you see Johansson. He's to the right side of your screen. Jenner lays it out in front of him. And Ryan tried to kick that up to his stick. Didn't connect. Good little defensive play there by Seidenberg.
Face-off will come to Svedberg's left. Artem Anisimov. Losing the draw there to Kelly, but goes right after it. On for Hartnell. Krug chips it free. Prout off the point. Deflected wide. Krug flips here to the near boards. The Bruins forward, Kelly, has to retrieve a new hockey stick as he makes his way over to the bench.
That's a long way to go, and he kind of hesitantly left the zone. He was watching the play.
Atkinson from the wing, off the pad of Svedberg. Down that right side, Eriksson. Trailing is Soderberg, carries in. Soderberg from the left wing boards, off the pad of Bobrovsky. Jackets pressure below the goal line. Soderberg hustles to it. Originally a draft pick of Jarmo Kekalainen when Kekalainen was with the St. Louis Blues. Traded to Boston. And of course, he's become a fixture up front here in recent seasons. Carried in across the line. The shot off the glove and then covering up. Well, Jody, it's always good to see a former Buckeye in the building. And Matt Bartkowski, former Buckeye, played 2 seasons, 2008, 2009. His career with the Buckeyes, 80 games, 11 goals, 30 assists, 145 penalty minutes. He had 99 in that second and final season.
And he's not too far from home here in Columbus. He's from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
We've had a few former Pennsylvania residents play with the Buckeyes.
I'm sure it's a treat for him to come back to where he played college hockey. NHL team in town while he was here with the Buckeyes, and now playing this building with, I'm sure, friends and family around. It's got to be a treat.
Up high. Swept behind the net. Lucic. Koklachev walking out of the corner. Second NHL game. Called up for this one from Providence. And the stop made by Bobrovsky.
The Blue Jackets Fan Express is back and ready to bring your group to the Arena District. For information and reservations, call the Blue Jackets at 614-246-PUCK. Tonight, a group from New Lexington Middle School rooting on the Blue Jackets in their battle with the Bruins.
We were talking about Bartowski there a little earlier, your Buckeye buddy, and he actually skates with Scott Hartnell in a camp out in, they have the same agent, I think, out in Minnesota for the summer. So some of those camps full of NHL players and hopefuls. It's really inspiring to skate with some of those NHL guys when you're a young guy.
Bull chips it ahead, knocked down there by Paille, and since it was knocked down with a high stick, play called. 13:56 left, second period. Jackets with a pair of goals in the first. Johansson and Foligno.
Behind the scenes of tonight's game on the Game Day Live page, and after Devon Still paid tribute to Lauren Hill, find out how she repaid the favor. Get complete coverage of all of today's action involving Ohio sports, brought to you by 1-800-SAFEAUTO.com.
Face off to the left of Svedberg. Jackets set for the draw. Kelly will take it for Boston. Jackets unable to win that face-off. The Bruins sent it the length of the ice.
They won it, but Jared Bull had it on his stick, tried to connect with Connaughton, but just couldn't make that pass, so now they're in their own end.
Here's a quick shot. It's blocked by Gibbons. Adam Cracknell dishes. Atkinson fights off the stick check. Bull rink wide for Connaughton across the line. Pulls the trigger there, and it's deflected and out of play.
Good job by this line getting him up the ice. Good play in the defensive zone to get out of that situation they're in. Watch this play by James Wisniewski. He's got two guys on him. He thinks the option is the middle of the ice. He gets it right here. He thinks the middle. Nope. Goes up to Jared Bull. That's a great play by James Wisniewski. Saw the white jerseys, identified. It looked like he took a bit of a slash there, but good heads-up play by Wiz.
His game has stepped up here of late as well. There's Dalton Trout at the right point. Hartnell Kemp on the edge of the blue paint. Looks for some open ice. Knocks the puck down with a glove. Fights through and away from Seidenberg. Riley Smith, Bergeron. Chipped off the wall there by Fraser. Deep in Jackets territory. Artem Anisimov to the far side. Jack Johnson. The Jackets against one of the best face-off teams in the league. 8 of 10 draws won by the Jackets, and they have an edge overall, 17-8.
One of the best face-off players in the league is Bergeron.
Right, but he's not alone.
No, but when you have a guy like that on your team, he can help players. He's got tricks. He works at different things, and it's interesting to watch that. When we were in San Jose, Mike Ricci was there, former player, one of the best face-off players during his era, and he would help guys like Pavelski take face-offs. So Bergeron can take what he knows and he learns and help his teammates. We think these guys don't, they don't stop learning. There's always something to work on, especially at the professional level.
Well, 3 of their top centermen, including Krejci, obviously, who's out of the lineup, are better than 50% in faceoffs. And, of course, as we mentioned in that first period, Bergeron, second in the league at 60.5%.
Huge advantage.
On there for Soderberg. Puck trickles to the left point. Seidenberg. Eriksson. Kelly. Krug walks the line, fires a shot, juggle, but Bobrovsky gets the glove on it. Eriksson looking for that loose puck.
Good job by Sergei. Stayed with that shot the whole way. Little movement from the Boston Bruins. From the goal line to the blue line. to the middle of the ice. Through traffic. Might have changed direction. You take a look here. Krug with his head up the whole way. Yeah, it was similar to Foligno's goal. Looked like it hit the backside of Eriksson, but Bobrovsky caught that on his shoulder, then covered it up.
Wenberg wins the faceoff, gets it to Leopold, on to Savard. Alexander Wenberg looking to improve his ability in the faceoff circle. Matt Calvert was knocked down. Gets back up, right wing Eriksson. Eriksson looks cross ice, carried in. Bartkowski looking for the handle. He's got Kelly right there with him, but Savard breaks it up. Up high. Kept in by the Bruins. Dish, there's a shot. High, stick side, and wide. Miller steps in off the point. Knocked Calvert almost to the ice. Calvert fought it off. Long shot there. Gloved and held by Bobrovsky. And you see, he's using that catching hand. A little more regularity.
Yeah, you saw that. That was a quick little snag. He caught it right in that netting. I think the netting is probably fine. It's probably the ones right on the meat of the pad there. He caught that. Line drive up the middle there.
See how he protects. Watch this. Right after the play, he'll protect that left hand.
Oh, yeah.
Again, coming back from the injury. Wants to protect that. Doesn't want to get slashed.
He did have a little contraption there.
There's a little extra protection there still.
Yeah.
Sergei Bobrovsky.
He's on the ballot for the All-Star game here in January, Jeff.
As he should be. Former Vezina Trophy winner. In fact, we almost had a matchup of the last two Vezina Trophy winners, but Tuukka Rask getting the night off. He'll play against Montreal tomorrow.
He was out on the ice a long time today after practice. And at one point, he had his gloves off, and he had a player's stick in his hand, just working on passing the puck.
Interesting.
Tuukka Rask, yeah. He was out there, I'm telling you. The full time that they had here, they had a full hour. And he was the last player off the ice. He had two coaches.
That's an art. That's an art. Yeah. They're there to stop the puck, but it's an art for them to puck handle and make passes. And there are some goaltenders, I guess most notably Martin Brodeur, the puck handling netminder.
He was better than half the players in the league at handling the puck.
He wasn't better than you.
Myself included.
I was God. Oh, no. Look at Prout. He wins that battle below the goal line. Up high, the shot sails wide of the net off the stick of Bartkowski as we approach the midway point of the second period and the hockey game. Adam Cracknell, the clearing pass for Gibbons. Gibbons steers it deep. Svedberg thought about leaving the net, but then wisely decided to stay as Gibbons outraced the Bruin defender. Johansson to the point. Wisniewski on here to Connaughton. He's got a heavy shot. It was deflected, but just wide. I think Johansson was the one that got a stick on it, but it deflected wide off the initial shot by Connaughton.
Good puck movement here by the Blue Jackets, who are in the middle of a line change. Jared Boland's out there now with Johansson and Jenner.
Good hit by Johansson below that goal line on Gregory Campbell, who's back up. Here now, Connaughton lets one fly off the goalpost. A delayed penalty upcoming.
Yeah, Jackets have drawn one here.
And Bobrovsky now just aware of it. Connaughton off the point. Connaughton throws that pass in front for Jenner. The Bruins are able to get a stick on it. And here, after we pass the midway point of the second period, the first power play of the night, it'll go Columbus's way.
2-0 here at Nationwide Arena with the Jackets getting ready to go back on the power play. Vlad Larson, just with that little flurry right there, it looks like you got a little bit more of your jump back.
Yeah, we're skating tonight. You can see the difference in our play, and we're allowing ourselves a forecheck and get on them, and we're creating some turnovers.
What did the quick start do for this team?
Well, it gives you confidence. You know, we know Boston's a hard forechecking team, and, you know, you want to play them in their end because they're heavy down low in your own end, so make sure you can get down there, and a couple quick goals are nice for us.
Jackets on the power play. The penalty to Bartkowski for interference. Columbus come in fourth best in power play efficiency at 23.6%. 17 power play goals. There's a shot by Wisniewski, and it deflected just wide of the open corner near side. And Wisniewski back to scoop up that loose puck.
I think that got deflected by Scott Hartnell right in the hand. He's now checking his glove. Good play by Wisniewski, and what a nice pass by Ryan Johansson to the middle of the ice.
Here comes Johansson. Wrist shot there, and on the deflection, out of play. You're absolutely right here. It did, in fact, go off Hartnell's glove. Let's get a look at it.
All right, let's take a look. Hartnell's at the high guy here in the middle of the ice. He takes that cross check. As he gets up, I don't think he's going to try to catch that or what. Put it in his pocket. Here it comes. And Nick Foligno thought that was coming right at his head.
It was a hot potato. Looking at that glove down. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
He's a gamer.
He's a gamer. Nick Foligno beside him is not interested in hearing about it. See that?
He's not interested in hearing about it. I love it. 8:45 left. The shot deflected wide. Jenner reaching for it. Seidenberg will send it up, but not out. Centering pass for Atkinson. Hands it right back. Artem Anisimov to the point. Connaughton seeing power play time. First game as a Blue Jacket. The 9th player to make his Columbus debut this season.
Wow.
9. Count them.
And good for him. You know, you pick up a guy on waivers, and you're not sure what's going to happen. And for him to get power play practice time yesterday, I said, how is that for you? He said, I don't know. We'll see how long it lasts. And here he is tonight in the game against the Bruins.
No, Jacket scouts feel he's got a terrific upside. Scramble in front. Loose puck. Connaughton comes off the point and set it just wide. They love his offensive ability. Last year of junior playing for the Vancouver Giants, the Edmonton native scored 24 goals. Connaughton. Up high. Deflected a couple of times. Jenner in pursuit. Down to 12 seconds in the penalty to Bartkowski. Played there by Miller below the goal line. He'll send it up and out. James Wisniewski back to retrieve the final seconds of the Bartkowski penalty. Former Buckeye steps out. Back at full strength. Here's a pass for Matt Calvert. Calvert on Seidenberg. Calvert showing patience, but it's taken away there by Kelly. Chipped by, and here comes Soderberg. But back comes Calvert. Soderberg fights it off, drops the pass. Here's Krug with a shot. Big rebound off the pad. Krug again. Rink wide. Seidenberg and a stick save by Bobrovsky. Skilly circles the net. Showing patience, he'll send it off the wall. Trying to get it to Matt Calvert now. Sends it to Jack Johnson. Wisniewski. Off the wall. Wenberg unable to play it. That's icing.
Well, Wenberg tried to touch that puck there just to negate the icing. Couldn't pick it up off the boards. Let's take a look at this last opportunity on Sergei Bobrovsky here. He sees that the whole way. And for him, I mean, he'll encourage this type of play all night. The screen comes just a little late. He stays with it. He can see the guy, sense the guy coming. He's got to stay focused on that puck. He just gets the right pad on it, kicks it aside.
Jackets block the shot from the point. Chip it off the glass. Played here by Hamilton. Far side, the Bruins look up that left wing wall. Nice play by Foligno. Lucic able to get it back. Bruins, Koplachev centers for Lucic, and the Jackets block that in front of Bobrovsky. Foligno off the wall. Lucic and Wisniewski came together there. Lucic, as we mentioned from the open, one of the top power forwards in the league, sends it right in on Bobrovsky. Fought off with the stick save. Seidenberg now stepping in off the point. Hartnell is there. Savard finishes his check. 5 minutes, 55 seconds left. Second period. Savard off the wall to center. Seidenberg keeps it away from Johansson. On the wing, Riley Smith and Leopold got the stick on it. Good active stick anticipation by the veteran Jordan Leopold. Left wing, that's the Bruins. Fraser spins, sends it back to the point. One-timer by Riley Smith. It's wide. Fraser again. Seidenberg wants it at the left point. Played by Bergeron in the corner. Bruins playing keep away right now.
This group for the Jackets has been out there a while. They're staying inside the house, trying to just wait for a puck to come through. And they have a long change here, too, in the second period, so Johansson's got to manage his puck and get off.
He's out of gas and will finally make his way over to the bench. Fresh legs come on. Scoreless second period. If you joined us late, 2 goals less than 2 minutes apart midway through the opening period. Johansson unassisted, and Foligno from Leopold and Johansson. Jackets block it in front of Bobrovsky again. They're collapsing in front of their netminder, and they're blocking shots. When they get through, a total of 20. Bobrovsky's there. Here's a turnover for Gibbons. Lets one fly. Svedberg's got it. Juggled, but held on. 4 minutes, 40 seconds left. Second period. Columbus 2. Boston, no score.
At Nationwide Arena in Columbus, where the Jackets hold a 2-0 lead. Dave Metzold with Jeff Rimmer and Jody Shelley. Now, how would you like to join the Blue Jackets in Florida for a game against the Lightning in January? All you need to do is text tonight's keyword SKATE to 37664. You'll be entered to win a trip to Tampa and accommodations at the Swan and Dolphin Resort in Orlando. Again, tonight's keyword SKATE.
Face-off comes as you get a look there at a familiar face. Jason Day,
PGA golf. Local resident of the Columbus area. He was getting a laugh there at Dancing Kevin on the big screen inside here at Nationwide Arena.
Who doesn't?
Oh, boy. It's hard not to smile even on the bench at that guy.
He's got some exposure, pardon the pun. Got some national attention. Jackets on the breakup. Atkinson looking for Hartnell. Hartnell drilled, fights off the check, and the Bruin got the worst of that exchange. Hamilton. Jack Johnson sends it off the side of the net. Backhanded by Atkinson into the slot. Anisimov for Hartnell. On to Jack Johnson. Johnson floats one in, deflected by Anisimov over top of the net. Hartnell wins that board battle. Boston able to come up with the puck and clear the zone. Gagne had it briefly. Stepping up here, Hamilton, and sends it into Jackets territory with less than 3.5 minutes left. Long lead pass there for Anisimov. Sent into the corner and played by Hamilton. 3:20 left. Momentarily camped behind Svedberg. Long lead pass by the Bruins, knocked away by the Jackets. Soderberg looks for the handle. Picked up there by Jack Skilly. Kelly defends. Play a little ragged here with 3 minutes left.
After every Blue Jackets game, Fox Sports Ohio breaks down the game and talks to the players and coaches on Blue Jackets Live, presented by IGS Energy. IGS Energy, take control of your natural gas costs. Enroll at IGSenergy.com.
There's Jack Skilly, who's returned after a 4-game absence.
Offside here, he was going so fast. He dropped the puck at the blue line. Just that speed, man. He gets 0 to 60 quick.
Got an extra gear, too, doesn't he?
He does.
And he's got a pretty good shot from the wing. Jackets would like to see a little more of that here tonight. Wisniewski off the wall. Gets away from Skilly. How about timing? When you miss 4 or 5 games like Skilly has and Matt Calvert, take a little while to get that timing?
No, I don't think that many games. I think you're looking at the 10, 12, you know, you get into missing a month of hockey. I think that's... You're always so excited. It's amazing coming back from an injury. It's like the first time on the ice. The unknowns, you know. Get back out there and get with your teammates. These guys have brought a lot here tonight. A lot of energy, a lot of speed.
Oh, nice move there by Foligno. Drop pass, Leopold. Ripped wide of the net. Jenner tied up at the side of the Boston cage. Jackets pressure deep in the zone. Backhanded. Jenner finishing a check there. And Soderberg taking a little bit of exception to that hit. Jenner goes after Miller there. Now cycling out of the corner. Foligno fights off the check. Soderberg on here to Lucic. Lucic chips it by Leopold. The 2. Battle in the corner. Savard in there to help out. Moved by Bergeron up high to Riley Smith. Smith chips it away from Johansson. Centers the puck. The Jackets will play it. And we're going to get a penalty here to Columbus for holding.
Yeah, it looked like the Blue Jacket player. It might have been Johansson.
Columbus penalty number 19. 2 minutes holding.
Got his stick up a little bit too. It's in the defensive zone. Just maybe got a little bit out of position from where the refs saw it across ice. The refs on the far side of the ice here. Johansson kind of leans on it. Looks like he has two hands on the stick. Interesting. Nonetheless, Jackets to the kill here. Wenberg out here on the left side. 1:25 left in this period. Jackets want to get that to get to the locker room.
Bruins 8th best on the power play, 11 for 51. Jackets on the penalty kill, tied for 25th at 75%. It allowed 17 power play goals in 68 shorthanded situations. Dalton Prout up but not out. Hamilton up high, lets one fly. Jackets block that. Eriksson taking it back from Bergeron. Less than a minute to go, second period. Hamilton hands to Soderberg. Jackets block it, and Bergeron rips one wide. Riley Smith off that backboard. Looks to the point. Hamilton, the right-handed shot on the left point. Jackets block that. Oh, boy, that one hit Wenberg, and he is making his way back, favoring that right leg. Jackets have done a terrific job collapsing and blocking shots here throughout the hockey game, Joe.
Well, it's encouraging to see Ryan Johansson block shots. Alex Wenberg block shots. These are details that the coach is trying to get these guys to do to get out of this little bit of a funk. And now tonight we're seeing two pretty good periods of the guys doing the little things very well, including the blocking shots. It's not easy to do, Jeff.
Off the wall, Crew can't get to it. Back to neutral ice. Morrow dancing away from Gibbons. Final seconds ticking off here in period number 2, a scoreless period. And the Jackets bank it off the boards, and that'll do it. Much to the delight of the crowd. They're on their feet here. A scoreless second period. Jackets saluted by the fans here, the 5th line on this Friday night at Nationwide after 40 minutes of play. It's the Jackets 2 on goals by Johansson and Foligno. The Bruins no score. Boston now out shooting Columbus 21-18 after 40 minutes. Dave will have a guest after this. Teams coming out for third period play. Jackets lead 2-0. And now, here's tonight's AT&T Rewind. For that, we head to Pittsburgh, where the Penguins are home to the New York Islanders. And we pick up the action in period number 2. Islanders lead 3-2, 5.5 minutes into that second period.
And the New York Islanders have found something special this year to start the season. 3-2, and here Nick Leddy makes it 4-2 for the New York Islanders. As they get up to a 2-goal lead, but here come the Pittsburgh Penguins. And that is Spaulding in front of the net, makes it 4-3, and that's where we're at during the second intermission. Islanders up 4-3.
We pan the Jackets bench. Jordan Leopold, incidentally, leading all players with 4 blocked shots. Johansson outstanding in the faceoff circle at 86%. In fact, all the Jackets are well over 50%. Johansson's won 6 of 7. Cracknell 3 of 4, 75%. Artem Anisimov, he's 9 and 4 for 69%, and Alexander Wenberg 63% at 5 and 3, and that's against one of the best faceoff teams in all the NHL in these Boston Bruins. From the draw, won by Anisimov, away from Bergeron.
The Jackets have 31 seconds to kill here, and then back to work. Important part of this game right here for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Want to get through the kill, and they get back on their game.
Jody, one of your Toyota keys to the game was discipline. And there's Bobrovsky with a stop. The Jackets have certainly been just that here tonight.
Yeah, they sure have. They've taken 1 penalty.
In front. Sliding in front of that intended pass there was Dalton Prout, who's had a strong game here tonight for the Jackets. Artem Anisimov, 6 seconds left. Fires shorthanded. And Svedberg, the short side stop. Crew, outlet pass here for Eriksson. Drops it. Played by Bergeron. Jackets, Johansson back on the ice. And then have successfully killed off the 1 power play. Bobrovsky, the stick save. Jackets flip it out to center. Seidenberg to play. Johansson in pursuit.
That was a good play by Wenberg in front of the net. Got the puck. Cleared the zone, got off the ice.
Seidenberg. Across the line. On there for Griffith. Far side of the ice. Bruins trying to get something going. Kelly chops it ahead. Foligno right there. Those two were teammates previously with the Ottawa Senators. And we noticed that just prior to the start of the second period, the two stood at center ice, had a brief conversation. What do you say in those situations? Jody, you've been down on the ice talking with other teammates. You're sending a message, though, when you play.
No.
You ask them how the family was? Oh, boy. Right now, the family not too good. The Bruins are on the board, and they've cut the deficit.
And that was just a tricky little play from the neutral zone. Watch this puck here. This is a dump in. Sergei thought it was going to be a dump in. Ooh. Went right through right in the 5-hole here. No one in front. Just a little casual play there by Sergei. We'd like to have that back. We talk about the start of the period. That's only a minute, almost a minute and a half into this third period. Boston has cut the deficit in half. Blue Jackets got to stay focused here. Sergei's bailed them out a few times. Look for this team to respond on that play.
Good point. Bartkowski, far side. Hartnell. Atkinson knocked down in front of that net. Pursues the puck. Gets it away from Hamilton, who's able to reach for it and get to Bartkowski. Approaching the 2-minute mark. Gregory Campbell skates to center. Campbell bounces one wide of the net. Paille in pursuit. Campbell tried to chip it back behind the net. Seidenberg from Bartkowski and Kelly. It's a 2-1 hockey game here. 2 minutes plus gone in the third. Jack Skilly. Wenberg able to steal. Wenberg protects that puck. Calvert walks out to the point for Dalton Prout. Prout left side. Jack Johnson. He'll let one fly. Jack Johnson leading all skaters for the Jackets in ice time through 40 minutes. Better than 15 minutes. Savard was right behind.
That's normal for Jack Johnson.
Calvert. Hartnell. Up high Dalton Prout. Off the stick of the Bruin defender Fraser, who's checking the stick as plays in neutral ice. Right side. Bergeron, top of the circle. Guys that thread the needle there. Slipping and falling as Fraser. He's back on his feet, but Jack Johnson for the Jackets finds Calvert left wing at center.
Dalton Prout with a great play there to break up the 2-on-1. Just a subtle little stick, just enough.
Skilly goes awkward into the boards. He'll hustle off here. He got squeezed out along the wall. Bartkowski. Backhanded by Soderberg. Bobrovsky. Left for James Wisniewski on to Johansson. Here comes Connaughton with speed. Across the line. Kevin Connaughton plays his first game as a Blue Jacket. Eriksson with Soderberg. Back for Eriksson. Hopped over his stick. Wisniewski. Oh boy. Wisniewski down. He hit his head against the glass and he's back up. And not happy at all. You can't retaliate here. Wisniewski very upset by that hit. With no penalty, Foligno comes off the wing. Save, rebound. 2 attempts. A third chance there for Johansson and Krug, helping out his netminder there. Jackets all around that Boston cage, but could not get it to cross the line. Bartkowski at the other end. Traffic in front, and it's deflected and out of play.
And great opportunity there by Columbus. You just mentioned it. You look at James Wisniewski. But good speed up the wing by Nick Foligno. Great individual effort. And watch this. Jenner tries to get it, just can't reach it. Johansson just can't reel it in. And watch this. Wisniewski into the boards here. Boy, he went in hard. And watch him get up.
Back to the live action. He got up, Jody, as you were about to point out. Got up and went right back after Eriksson.
Yeah, he's lucky he didn't get a penalty there, Jeff. A couple cross checks.
I think the officials who may have missed that hit. Look at Leopold in. He's drawn a penalty. Penalty upcoming, and Nisimov is down. That was behind the play, and he's slow to get up.
Let's watch Wiz here. We were talking about in front of the net.
Austin, 43, 2 flashing.
chance. There's James Wisniewski. Anyways, let's get back on track here. Blue Jackets on the power play. Good job. It's been end-to-end action here. They get in the offensive zone, draw this one with some good hard work.
Jody, you talked about the Jackets and Sergei Bobrovsky specifically bailing the Jackets out previously. Here's an opportunity with a power play goal for the Jackets to restore that 2-goal lead.
Exactly. Good opportunity here. And I like the way they're playing right now.
Wisniewski, rink wide, cut off. Johansson saves it at the line from Payet. Here's Wisniewski, gets it ahead. Hartnell goal-mouth pass, and it just hopped over the stick of Nick Foligno, who was camped and ready. Foligno, Hartnell trying to fight his way to the front of the net. Hamilton defending. Here's Wisniewski. On to Johansson. Ryan Johansson moves in. Jack Johnson fires off the goalpost.
Johnson had a wide open portion of that net. Just missed it.
Here's Johansson moving in. Shot blocked. Bruins, Seidenberg steps to center. Hammers the long shot in. That's off the mark. It was his long shot that beat Bobrovsky.
From that same spot. Right at the red line.
Artem Anisimov on the worse for wear after taking a hit. Oh boy, another hit there on that far side. Fights that one off. Wisniewski waits patiently, gets the puck at the point. 42 seconds left in the power play. Hartnell unable to play it, and Krug finds a lane and dumps the length of the ice. James Wisniewski flips the backhand. Atkinson fights off the check from Eriksson. Boone Jenner. Artem Anisimov. First across the line, and Anisimov looking for Jenner. Riley Smith defending. Connaughton, Jenner. 15 seconds left. Connaughton on for David Savard. Wrist shot. Big rebound. Played by the Bruins. Connaughton able to glove it. On to Savard. Precious seconds remain on the power play. Moved ahead by the Jackets, but wide of the net. And it'll be played there by Miller. Rimmed around the wall. Out steps Bartkowski. The Bruins 2 for 2 on the kill.
Boone Jenner with a big hit in the corner there.
Dalton Prout trying to sweep it ahead. Eriksson cuts it off looking. Prout this time off the glass, knocked down by Jack Skilly. Sent deep into the zone. Calvert hustling to get there. Matt Calvert looking to fight off that check. Some help here from Alexander Wenberg. Wenberg winning the battle. Gets it up high to Jack Johnson. Floats one in. Off Svedberg. And it trickled over top of the net. Another attempt. That one is blocked in front of the Boston cage. Hamilton flips a backhand for Eriksson. Right side, Kelly. Soderberg on the left side. The Bruins change up on the fly. Shots are even at 24. Jackets lead by a goal as Skilly tries to walk out of the zone. Skilly pressured there by Koplichev. First on the forecheck.
Good little play by Skilly there. Circle back. He's at the end of a shift. Didn't like his options. Retreated. Got great support from Dalton Prout. And here come the Jackets.
Approaching the 8-minute mark. Jared Bull tried to flip a backhand in front. Koplichev, right side. Chips it ahead. Jackets defend. Leopold able to break that one up. Jared Bull sweeps ahead. Bull in pursuit. Bull trying to get to Morrow, who's able to get it ahead. Griffith to center. Jackets, David Savard. Bull at his own blue line will drop it back and then head off. Leopold on here for Savard. Right side, Foligno. Foligno fights off the check. Tried to flip it ahead for Jenner. Seidenberg, rink wide. Bruins look to the left side for Gagne at center. Simon Gagne rips it wide of the net. Payet will play it off that backboard. Behind the net for Gagne. Trip. And the Jackets will move up ice. Johansson battles against Seidenberg. Gagne for Krug. Approaching the 9-minute mark.
The intensity's definitely turned up here, Jeff, with that response or that goal from the Bruins. The Jackets have pushed back, but the Bruins, you can feel like they're coming. It's been end-to-end action here.
Connaughton. Nice pass for Anisimov in full flight. Flips to the wing for Hartnell, and it goes over top of the Boston net. Hamilton attempted to clear, get some help from Bergeron. You're right, we're going end to end this time back in Jackets territory. Bergeron off the chest. Bobrovsky's got it, and he will hold on. As we go to break, here's that hit facing the glass. Eriksson got away with one. Wisniewski will get back up.
Nationwide Arena where the Jackets have a 1-goal lead over Boston. Hey, tonight on Fox Sports Live on Fox Sports 1, check out full highlights as LeBron and Kobe both hit the road. An exclusive interview with UConn coach Kevin Ollie and how the Bills escaped the blizzard in Buffalo. That's tonight, Fox Sports Live on Fox Sports 1, guys.
From the draw, won by Anisimov. Off the wall, Hartnell up but not out. Bruins, Bergeron settles that bouncing puck down, throws it to the point. Traffic in front of the goal. The Bruins again from a distance. It may have been redirected in front of Bobrovsky. Nonetheless, Boston has come back to tie it.
Yeah, that was tipped in front. Little passing play, set play, side to side. Boston doesn't shoot that bouncing puck. They get it back high, and you see that. It's almost a set play. Practice that in practice. You try to hit the high guy with the tip.
That was Fraser.
Watch this here. He doesn't shoot it. Bergeron goes back high. And there's a heads-up shot. It's not a shot towards the net. It's a shot to Fraser in the high slot. Shot pass, we'll call it. And his job there was to do exactly that. Go against the grain. And we got a tie game here with half a period left.
Now, you talked moments earlier about the Bruins coming on. And it appears as if that goal by Seidenberg has certainly ignited Boston here.
I don't feel a letdown from the Jackets.
No.
I feel that they've been pushing. But I agree with you. It's definitely the push from the Bruins with that jacket, with that goal from center ice from Seidenberg. But I like how the Jackets are taking that puck and still going right at the Bruins defender, Svedberg.
Assist to Bartkowski and to Bergeron. The goal comes at 9:33, tied at 2. Quick shot, and Bobrovsky makes a stop from point-blank range. Another attempt here. 9:50 left, third period, regulation time. Jack Johnson. Johnson had a gaping side of the net in Boston territory earlier on this period and sent it right off the goalpost. Icing the call against the Jackets. Let's check out tonight's AEP power play summary. Jody?
There it is. Not a lot of shots from the Bruins at all, or the Jackets, but you know, that's probably why there's zeros there. But both teams are pretty good on the penalty kill, Jeff.
Face-off to the left of Bobrovsky. Koklachev took the draw for Boston. The Jackets win another one. Here's a pass. Skilly using that speed, moves in, fires a shot, and a glove stop there by Svedberg. And this time he's able to hang on. Skilly looking high glove side. Off the wing, lets one fly. Svedberg reaches and makes the stop. 2's the score. Time for the Ohio Health great save. And no, not that great stop off the glove of Svedberg and the shot by Skilly. But Dalton Prout has tonight's Ohio Health great save.
Yeah, what a save it was. Early in the game, that puck gets past Sergei Bobrovsky. Look at Dalton Prout in the backhand. Great save.
That puck was about to trickle over the goal line.
Doesn't get any closer than that.
And swept away alertly by Dalton Prout. Here it's 2-2. A little more than 9 minutes left. Adam Cracknell for Gibbons. Cracknell hands it back. Bull from a sharp angle turned aside.
Nice little passing play in the corner from Bull. Cracknell. Cracknell had the initial pass and then got it back to Bull. Quickly got it on net.
James Wisniewski headmans that puck. Adam Cracknell hustling into the zone. Gibbons. Gibbons from a sharp angle sends it off the side of the net. Cracknell continues to battle. Here's Gregory Campbell. Steps to center, looks to the left wing. Jackets defend. Paille is there behind the net. Connaughton attempts to clear. Puck in the slot and a goal. Connaughton attempted to clear. It went high in the air, came right down in the slot. And the Bruins, for the first time, have the lead.
Well, that was a bouncing puck, like you said, all over the place. 50-50 puck in the middle at the end of it. Paille times it right. Connaughton here's got a rolling puck. Bad bounce off the wall. Watch this. Jackets, I believe Connaughton, after this play, he gets back to the middle right here. You see his stick get in there. And that's just a tough play.
Paille
recovered
with his first of the season. 11:32, the time of the goal.
That's the fourth line player, Paille. I was just going to say, it'd be great to see Cracknell, Gibbons, and Bowl chip in on the score sheet.
Kelly racing after it. Plenty of time remaining in this one. David Savard on for Hartnell. Atkinson with a shot that's deflected and out of play.
The Jackets are home at Nationwide Arena on Tuesday, November 25th to face off against the Winnipeg Jets. Then again after Thanksgiving on Friday the 28th against the Vancouver Canucks. Puck drop at 7 o'clock for both games. Get your tickets now at BlueJackets.com.
Scotty Hartnell out here now with an Easemoff and Atkinson. Looking to get something going for the Columbus Blue Jackets, you know, and he's been a leader out there. That's a quick turn of events here at Nationwide Arena for the Boston Bruins now to take this lead.
Bruins scored at 1:28 of the third, and then 2 goals less than 2 minutes apart. Fraser and a go-ahead goal by Paille. It's 3-2.
Columbus has to stay with their game here now. You know, Sergei Lenin, a bad one from center ice, but still a chance to respond here for him.
Soderberg drew the lone assist on the go-ahead goal. Less than 7.5 minutes left, third. Off the wall, Foligno will chip it in. Ryan Johansson in pursuit. Svedberg sends it around the wall. Dalton Prout off the point. Johansson trying to flip it in front. A quick shot, scores! Jack Johnson, denied earlier, off the goal post, has come back to tie it.
What a play by Ryan Johansson behind the net. I love the puck recovery here. It's one thing to get a play on net, but the Blue Jackets stay with it, get the puck back, and watch Ryan Johansson here. Little play to the net here. Puck gets behind the net. Watch him and Foligno sort it out. Jack Johnson slowly slips in that backside and puts that puck in the net. That's got to feel good for Jack Johnson. Little play here at the net. They get the puck back. Good support. And watch this. Nice little play by Johansson. Jack Johnson made no mistake with that one.
A minute 15 after Paille's goal put them in front. The Jackets come back, and Jody, you called it. You said you didn't feel the Jackets were back on their heels. They get the tying goal, and for Johansson, or Johnson, Jack Johnson, that's his first goal of the season. And Johansson will draw an assist, and here comes Skilly.
Again, Skilly going a little too fast to that puck. He's offside, but there's Jack Johnson. That's got to feel good for that young fella. You said the one off the post earlier. We've seen a few opportunities for him. His teammates will be happy for him here tonight. And I love this play here. Foligno keeps that puck alive, and Ryan Johansson, he's heads up before he gets the puck on that one.
Johansson has figured in all 3 goals, a goal and 2 assists. Foligno with a goal and an assist. And this line responsible for all 3 Columbus goals this evening. 3-3, less than 7 minutes remaining. And the crowd, the 5th line, has come to life.
You know what? They haven't really died down, Jeff. Ever since that Dalton Prout save behind the goalie, they've been engaged and trying to... They got to keep those Bruins fans quiet, too.
Boston out of their own zone. This is Morrow across the line. Morrow walking almost to the front of the net, threw it across the goal mouth. Jackets are able to sweep it back into Boston territory. Morrow paired with Krug. Headman's that puck. It's off Bergeron and out of play. Well, the Jackets, no rest after this one. They board the plane for Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. And they'll be looking for their second win in consecutive visits to Philadelphia tomorrow night. We'll have the telecast for you beginning 6:30 with Brian Giesenslaw and Bill Davich and Blue Jackets Live. Opening face-off at 7 o'clock. Are reserved, and any rebroadcast, recording, retransmission, telecommunication to the public, or other unauthorized use of the broadcast without the express written consent of the Columbus Blue Jackets is expressly prohibited. We are underway, and Isimov wins another draw. The Jackets have been outstanding in the face-off circle tonight.
They have, and that's the first point. The first battle is in the face-off circle. Good indication of engagement for these Blue Jackets. Right from the start, Jeff.
Outlet pass in the left wing for Fraser. A quick feed. Onto the right wing, top of the circle. That's off Bobrovsky. Anisimov can't find the handle. The Bruins have it. A quick shot. It's blocked in front. And the Jackets chip it off the wall.
You see the Blue Jackets there all collapsed. 4 guys in front of Sergei. Makes it easier to get that puck, too, after that shot's blocked. Get it right out.
That's what they did for much of the first 2 periods.
You like to see that, team support like that.
Very successful in blocking shots. Foligno slides it deep. Seidenberg, far side for Eriksson with Kelly. Kelly, Soderberg, through and across the line. Broken up by Dalton Prout, who tried to kick it up after stopping Soderberg. Jack Johnson, far side. Wins that battle along the wall away from Eriksson. Jackets head up ice. Boone Jenner slides it deep. Foligno for Jenner. Jenner keeps the feet moving. Knocked to the ice. The Bruins defender, Kelly, got an arm around him. 4:22 left.
Jackets can't be looking for penalties here. They see that the refs have done all night. They've let them play hockey.
Eriksson gets it to Payet. Swept behind the net. Soderberg reaching for it. Shot from the point by Miller. Off the backboard. A wicked bounce. Soderberg drops it back. Morrow, far side. The Bruins with the pressure on. Sent up high to Miller again. Payet battling against Dalton Prout. Prout wins it. Sweeps to the corner. The Bruins get it right back. The Jackets defend, and away goes Matt Calvert to center. Calvert down that right wing. Puck moved by Morrow to the far side. 3:40 left. Morrow gets it back. Left wing feed. Campbell. Campbell dumps it deep. Far side of the ice. Played by Simon Gagne. Anisimov looking to cut it off. Jackets Wisniewski. Turns it over to Lucic. Lucic, a quick shot, and it's fought off by Bobrovsky. You don't want to make that play in your own zone and give Lucic an opportunity.
Well, just a nice little play. Tried to make a nice little play. Lucic read that. I like the support from the Blue Jackets after that turnover.
Krug. Hartnell takes him wide. Connaughton. Camp behind Bobrovsky. He'll take it back from James Wisniewski. Head up. Gets it ahead. Hartnell, rink wide, tried to feed Skilly. Broken up by the Bruins, but the Jackets quick to dump it right back into Boston territory. Miller will pick it up. Less than 3 minutes left.
That puck died perfectly, Jeff, just before the goal line. No icing. The Jackets will be able to get a full change on that one.
Lucic with a centering feed. Jenner's able to bank it off the boards and back into Boston's territory. Seidenberg takes it from Miller. Right back. Miller up the far wall. Soderberg away from Boone Jenner. Flips it backhand into the slot. Lucic in pursuit. Out of the corner, Lucic to the point. This one driven off the stick of Bartkowski, but the Jackets block that. Ryan Johansson, a goal and 2 assists down the right wing to center. Rink wide. Calvert off the bench. Foligno to the front of the net. He'll have to circle here. Johansson fights for position. There's a shot by Leopold. Svedberg's got it. And now Johansson pushing and shoving there with Soderberg. It's got a quality shot away.
Yeah. And when Nick Foligno gets that puck, there's Calvert. He gets it to him right here. Foligno's patience. You just don't know what he's going to do, how long he's going to hold on to it. He sees something he likes right there. Leopold gets him right in the crest.
How do you like this analogy on Foligno? He's like a quarterback that kind of observes before making the play, and we've seen it night after night after night. We've talked about his patience, but he's observing before he makes a play, and more times than not, he's going to make that right play.
That's not bad. I love how he's got his head up. I mean, it's impressive for a guy like that to be able to control the puck the way he does and be aware of where guys are going and anticipating the play. He's just so good at puck possession.
Here's in front, Calvert denied. Svedberg. I guess you can say his Corsi would be pretty high.
I don't know what that is. Hey, that was a good forecheck by Wenberg. Good play on the puck. Isn't that guy a goalie coach or something?
He used to be.
Okay.
No, he is. Yeah. Used to be with Buffalo and Lindy Ruff. Now in St. Louis with Ken Hitchcock. Puck turned over and then turned aside and out of play by Bobrovsky.
How about Matty Calvert here? Gets a great opportunity. Great hustle below the line. He's standing alone. That's Atkinson and Wenberg in support. Atkinson looking back on the puck all over the place. He's familiar with Calvert. Exciting to watch those two play when they get going, especially in the offensive zone, Jeff. Calvert, Atkinson, speed on the puck. We cut it down to 3 lines here, obviously. There's only a minute 29 left in the game.
Well, Calvert's been in and out of the lineup, but Atkinson has been a consistent. And I'll tell you what, Cam Atkinson, over the last, I'd say, good 8 to 10 games, he's gone to another gear. A minute 20 left.
Well, that Tampa game, I go back to that where he had like 16 attempts on net. Unbelievable. He wants to score.
And it's from that point on. That's exactly it. Because it's from that point on he has really stepped up his game. That's not to say that he wasn't playing.
No, of course,
but
of course.
He's gone to another gear. Less than a minute to go in regulation. Foligno now. One hands it out of the zone. Reaching for it there was Anisimov. How about Foligno being double shifted here?
Well, yeah, there are a few guys, too. We've seen a lot of Anisimov. Johansson's back on the ice.
And so, too, is Atkinson. And it's Atkinson at the line. Johansson steps up offside the call. 38.1 seconds remaining.
So Todd loves this. I mean, he's got these guys he can keep going back to. Johansson, Atkinson. You know, there are a lot of guys going tonight, whereas sometimes we've seen him really shorten that bench, but he's got a lot of guys to work with here tonight.
38.1 seconds left. Jack Johnson tying it up. A minute 15 after the Bruins took the lead for the first time on a goal by Payet. Boston with 3 goals here in the third. Jackets had 2 in the first, a scoreless second. And we're tied at 3 here. Krug fights off Jenner. Atkinson below the goal line. Down that left wing, Soderberg to center. Wrists it wide of the net. Jack Johnson away from Eriksson, sent to center. Krug's got it, paired with Soderberg. Seidenberg. Soderberg. Sounds like a law firm. Seidenberg, Soderberg. Svedberg in goal.
You're doing a great job with those names, Jeff.
Well, there's the horn to end regulation. Each team picks up a point, and we'll play 5 minutes of sudden death overtime when we come back. Now a look at the 2 coaches behind their respective benches. Todd Richards watching intently. Claude Julien on the other side. And how about the PNC game summary, Jody?
Now, you talked about the face-offs, Jeff. Good to see the Blue Jackets on the positive side of that. Shots on goal. I think the Boston Bruins really teed it up the last period, definitely. Hits are even. Pretty good evening here. It's been a fun night of hockey so far, end-to-end to start. Some remarkable plays. I like the way the Jackets have played that short support game. Done the dirty things, starting with Ryan Johansson blocking that shot for a goal. Just a lot of good things here, I think, for Todd Richards to look at in his coaching staff.
All right. 5 minutes of sudden death, 4-on-4 hockey. The Jackets bouncing back from a disappointing performance Tuesday, and now they got to close the deal before moving to Philadelphia.
Got to get this extra point here tonight. There's no reason not to. They brought a 2-0 lead into the third period. That's now gone. Okay, at one point it looked like the whole thing was gone. It was 3-2 for the Bruins. Here they get in overtime. Got to be ready to take this down.
How about the Big Lots big play?
Are they dry scraping the ice?
Yes, they are.
So
this is the last day. This is the last day they can do it, effective tomorrow.
So wait a second.
No more dry.
The last one ever.
This is the last one. This is history. History in the making, right here at Nationwide Arena.
There you go.
And you're seeing it live.
Let's take that right into the Big Lots big play here, Jeff. And we're going to go with Jack Johnson here. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Top shelf over Svedberg. Svedberg's low, deep in his net, and Jack puts that right. Look at that. Thank you, he says. Thank you very much. This dry scrape takes 5 minutes.
That's why they're getting rid of it.
It's pretty incredible. You know what? I think we saw it once. We saw it in Carolina this year.
Well, it's only the second time the Jackets have played an overtime game.
You know who brought it up to me was Bob McGelly, who does our radio for the Blue Jackets. He does it by himself. So he says, that dry scrape, I'm glad that's gone. At least you guys can talk to each other.
Well, the situation is this, that the general managers met earlier on this week in Toronto after the Hockey Hall of Fame induction ceremonies and went over a number of situations here. And one of the changes, the dry scrape, is history after tonight. And secondly, and interesting to point out now that the Situation Room in Toronto will have the opportunity to whistle play down if, in fact, they see something that appears to be a goal that may not have been caught in the arena. And let the horn go. The off-ice officials would notify the officials, and at that point, the Situation Room can announce, in fact, if it is a goal with review.
Well, that's good, because, you know, when that goal happens, yeah, that's really good. Because if it goes 4 minutes after that puck actually went in the net, then that time is non-existent. So whatever happened, you go back to the goal and start from there. So it's good to be able to do that for the refs, especially since people at home can see what has gone on. Good advantage for the refs.
Now, again, the National Hockey League bottom line wants to get it right. And
they do.
It's another way that the league is saying, hey, we want it right. There are going to be obviously mistakes made by the human eye, but we're going to get it right as best we possibly can. So certainly, okays to the general managers of the National Hockey League who met this week. They discussed a number of other potential rule changes. In fact, widening goalie review. But right now we're 4-on-4 in OT. A second, a third attempt, and the Jackets sweep it away. Bruins start quickly. Jenner now able to send it out. Riley crisscrossing with Bergeron. Fought off there by the glove of Bobrovsky.
See, he couldn't get that in his glove. That's still affecting him, obviously. Makes a save, but didn't close his hand on it. Not catching it.
Savard all over the Bruin forward. Shot high and wide from the left point.
Interesting here with this long change. David Savard is the left defenseman furthest away from the bench. He's going to head off now. But that's a long way to go for that defenseman who plays in his own end for a full minute, over a minute.
Well, this is the alignment in the second period. And the second period in NHL games, the most offensive period. The league trying to have more goals scored in overtime. The Bruins are 3-0 in overtime, 1-0 in shootouts. This is the Jackets' second overtime goal of our game of the season. And offside the call there.
Let's take a look at the full ice here to show you exactly what we're talking about. Sergei's calling for some water. Doesn't have a water bottle down there. And there's a look. Sergei's at the far end. His bench is closest to us. So the defensemen that play down with Sergei have to get, the puck has got to be way down at the bottom of the screen for them to get all the way off safely. And it's always a high risk when the other team has the puck in any part of that zone to get off.
From the draw, Dalton Prout. Atkinson and Calvert together. Atkinson races down that side, fires a shot. Svedberg trying to make the stop, but it sailed over top of the net. Jack Johnson. Johnson drops it back for Dalton Prout. Circling the net. Atkinson. Here's Prout with a backhand. Jack Johnson to pick it up. Less than 3 minutes left. Eriksson pressuring. Calvert's got it. Matt Calvert getting it ahead and just beyond the outstretched stick of Nick Foligno. 4-on-4. Foligno out there now with Scott Hartnell. Campbell at center. Chips it ahead. Dump behind the net. It'll be played there by Connaughton. Rimmed around the wall. Down the left side. Hartnell on for Foligno. The two cross the line. Foligno hangs on. Turns away from traffic. Looks to the right wing. Connaughton off the point. Connaughton off a leg. Hartnell attempted to play it. Left side. Bruins move up ice. Jackets break it up. Bartkowski. Long lead pass on that left side. Campbell out there with Fraser. 3 forwards being employed here right now by Claude Julien. We told you that, he said after practice yesterday, they need to win tonight's game.
Yeah.
They wanted the full 2 points. They've got a tough 2 games ahead of them. There's Bruins Hockey Club not wanting to look beyond this one. They're home to Montreal tomorrow and then play Pittsburgh on Monday. And he's going for it.
He's got a real young defensive core too right now, Jeff, if you look at the injuries.
Down the wing, this is Fraser.
He's got some pretty good defensive forwards too.
Bergeron is out there, and he certainly is one of the best. Selke Trophy winner. Last year slips and falls. Jackets play it. Leopold out of the zone. Leopold gets it ahead. Ryan Johansson reaching for it. The Bruins with a little more than a minute left, and this crowd isn't in this hockey game. Shot by Eriksson. No, he can't let it fly. Up high. This is Bartkowski. On to Bergeron. Bergeron cross ice. Bobrovsky moves laterally. Makes the stop. Tries to get back into position. Gets some help from his defense, and the Jackets have cleared.
Wow, what a play there by Sergei Bobrovsky. Stayed with it out of the net. As soon as he was out of the net, his defensive players just kind of collapsed.
There's a shot by Soderberg right after the rebound. Bobrovsky down and says no and holds on. The crowd salute the Jackets here with 41.1 seconds. Sergei Bobrovsky, not 1 but 2 stops from point-blank range.
He's under fire a little bit. And that was a big rebound, like you mentioned. And Soderberg right there tries to get it, but it gets tangled up in his skates. Watch this here. Watch the number of the Blue Jackets around Sergei. Jack Johnson. Savard's playing the backside of him.
The Jackets have not had a shot in overtime, but here Jenner breaks in, fought off by Svedberg. The Bruins have had 7 shots at Bobrovsky in OT. Less than 30 left. A pass for Lucic. Bounces just off his stick. Lucic from the corner. Final seconds ticking off. Eriksson. The 5th line chanting CBJ. The Jackets come up with it in their own zone. They send it up, but not out. Off an easy mile.
Fight here.
Prout. Oh boy, did he drop Lucic.
Lucic wanted it, but didn't drop his gloves. He's still got his gloves on.
You wonder, now he lands the left hand. He's got the glove off the left hand. You wonder if he's got a problem with the right hand.
Oh,
now
he's going to throw his glove at him, but watch this. He wanted to fight. He went right in Prout's face, like he said. Prout says, let's go. Not a problem taking a penalty. Now there's zeros on the clock.
Boy, did he drop him there, too. Lucic
just
again.
tight little punch there, but Lucic still had his gloves on. He was engaged. Let's take a little look here. They get engaged here early. Prout knocks the stick out of his hand. Watch where Lucic goes. Oh, yeah. Right to the head of Prout. He says, let's do it. He gave him his time and space. More in the face.
Ooh, he buckled him with that one.
Not sure what Lucic was doing there, but... nonetheless, we're going to a shootout here. Crowd just saw that on the video board here. Dalton Prout and Lucic.
So the Blue Jackets tonight, for the first time this season, Jody, are going to a shootout. They are the last of the 30 teams in the National Hockey League to play a shootout game. How about that? So, 7 shots for Boston in overtime. The Jackets did not register a shot on goal. Those penalties coming at the 65-minute mark or the 5-minute mark.
Look at Claude Julien here. He's just... they're showing that replay in the building. And Julien, you can read some of his words, but some of them we won't repeat. But he said that is unbelievable. Lucic still had his gloves on. That's what they show, but they didn't show Dalton Prout taking one to the head in the corner. And he loses Lucic. I'm not sure if he's a shooter for them in the shootout or not, but he's gone to the room with the penalty. So is Prout.
Jackets will shoot first. They're going to switch ends again here. The goaltenders went back to the periods that they, or the goal that they guarded in the overtime.
Julian's still having a long conversation with the linesman at the bench. He spoke to the ref the whole break. Not happy at all with seeing his player, Lucic, take that shot.
This is the second shootout game involving the Bruins. Krejci 1 for 1, but he is out of the lineup tonight, so obviously will not shoot. Riley Smith 1 for 1. He'll likely be one of the Bruin shooters. The Jackets start. Svedberg getting a drink of water. Ryan Johansson will be the Jackets' first shooter. Johansson, a goal and 2 assists, comes right down the middle, moves in, slows down, shoots, and it's stopped by the right pad of Svedberg.
Well, Svedberg there stayed with Johansson the whole way. He changes gears right there. Stops, head up, tries those back and forth stick handling moves. Svedberg stayed with him the entire way, kept the pad out.
And I mentioned Riley Smith. Successful on his only shootout attempt this season. He will be the first shooter for Boston. Sergei Bobrovsky comes out of that blue paint, slowing down, a shot and a save by Bobrovsky.
And similar style there.
Well, they talk in terms of wanting to eliminate the shootouters will get one more look. And Bobrovsky gets the pad on it. The fans here look at Nationwide Arena. There's not a fan in a seat here right now.
They're still standing up from the fight.
They love the shootout.
And the fights.
All right, Jody, I know you're a proponent to keep the fighting in the game. Moving in, Atkinson! Where is it? Waved off.
Waved off. They review every shot on net here. We'll see what happens. That was awfully close to the line. Cam Atkinson here, head up. How far Svedberg is out. Boy, he's flexible. He kept it out, it looks like, from that angle.
Here comes Griffith.
Good job by the ref, was right there to see that.
Perfect positioning.
The timekeeper has his hand in the air, holding up the linesman who's got to wait for that signal.
They're looking at it in Toronto. Off-ice officials. Now giving...
Thumbs up, there it is, good goal. Now we go with...
Griffith. Griffith comes in quickly. Bobrovsky denied. So, third Jacket shooter. And who will it be? Artem Anisimov.
Griffith there just lost control of that puck as he lifted his head. Sergei stayed with him.
Artem Adam Anisimov. There are his numbers. 33.3%, 6 goals on 18 shots. A chance to put the Jackets up. An exciting hockey game here at Nationwide tonight. The Jackets' first shootout. And Anisimov gets the green light. Coming in, Svedberg denied.
Well, he stays right with the shooter the whole way. These have all been along the ice. No one's gone upstairs on this guy. Watch Anisimov. Similar to Johansson. Takes it to that same side. Might have hit him in the pad in the same spot.
Bergeron, 33.3%, 22 shootout goals. Bergeron, 30 goals a season ago, tied with Jerome McGinley. Patrice Bergeron, right-handed shot moving in. And Bobrovsky got enough of it just to steer it wide. We go overtime in the shootout.
How about Bergeron there? All speed. It just, again, lost the puck at the end. Kind of ran out of room there, I think.
Well, the familiar Boone for Boone Jenner.
Number 38, Boone Jenner.
Jenner picks it up at center. Coming in quickly. Svedberg backing up, and Boone Jenner sends it wide.
Chose to go with a shot there, Boone. Quickly backhand. Draws it in. Watch him draw it in here. Brings it in, loads it up. Sees that far post. Did get it elevated. Just missed the net.
Soderberg, fourth shooter for Boston. Soderberg picks up the puck, crosses the blue line, moving in. There's Bobrovsky, and Soderberg rifles it wide.
Sergei stayed with him there the entire way. Stayed down in the crouch position. Let's take a look at it right here. Soderberg, the left-handed shot. Sergei might have hit this stick there.
Fifth shooter for the Jackets. Nick Foligno.
This guy's in the fifth hole. Wow.
Foligno down the left side, coming quickly, slows it down off the crossbar. He had Svedberg beat.
Over the glove hand. What a shot. Quick release. Look at that. Puck was rolling, and we heard the clink from up here. Up that right corner.
Torrey Krug for the Bruins. Fifth shooter for Boston.
First defenseman to go.
He's a talented one, though. Offensively gifted. Here comes Krug quickly, moving in, and no goal.
He looked like he hit the crossbar there, too. Over the blocker side of Sergei. Left-handed shot coming in here. It's a good look at it. Beat Sergei.
Oh, I like this next guy coming.
Post.
Alexander Wenberg, looking for his first NHL goal.
Oh, wait, it wouldn't be a goal?
No, but you know what? It would be. It's a game winner, but it wouldn't count as an NHL goal officially. But you know what? He'll take it.
Talented kid.
Wenberg moving in, fires a shot, and Svedberg bats it out.
He batted that off with the paddle of his stick as he rests back on the net. There it is, quick reaction. He's got quick reaction, that Svedberg. Right there, last second. Here comes Louis Eriksson for the Boston Bruins.
10 goals on 36 shots in his career.
Look at that mustache.
Eriksson, a few years back with Dallas, was almost 100% in shootout shots. Bobrovsky's got to be sharp here. And makes the stop, kicking out the pad. as Eriksson tried to tuck it home.
Now, Eriksson has used that move before, and I know Sergei watches with Ian Clark breakaways and shootouts. Watch this. He goes back to the one-handed. Sergei kicks it away. I think he was ready for that one, Jeff.
Matt Calvert, the next shooter for the Jackets. Calvert now picks it up at center. Deliberately steps in, taking his time, fires a shot, and Svedberg gets the glove on it.
Glove hand save. Svedberg has that crouch, but boy, he's quick.
He looks more confident here in the shootout than he did during the game.
No doubt, he just made that glove save.
Koklachev called up. And here in the 7th round,
he wasn't
will
going to
shoot
play.
for Boston.
Krejci was going to play, and he's a late addition.
Koklachev called up just yesterday, joined the team here in Columbus, moves in, shoots and scores, and wins it for the Bruins. Koklachev with a game winner in round 7. Well, the Bruins pile off the bench, congratulate the rookie, and he ends it with the shootout game winner.
Let's take a look at that winner by him. He's got some moves, this kid. Changes gears, a little jump to his step, and then slides it right past Sergei. Looks like he went underneath that right pad.
So, the Jackets, who led 2-0 going into the 3rd period, lose this one in a shootout, but do pick up a valuable point.